All right, good afternoon, everyone. Ted actually just stole my favorite joke by telling that I'm Swiss, because usually people ask me, where are you from? And I say, South Chicago. And now I can't do that. So my name is Romeo Durscher. I'm the Director of Education at DJI. And DJI, as you know, is the commercial leading manufacturer of commercial drones. So I'm really excited to be here. And I'm going to make this a little bit different, this keynote a little bit different, because yesterday Chris talked about the future and how he sees the possible future in the eyes of 3DR. I am going to talk today a little bit about where we are right now. And so let's get started. If you believe the media, I have done it all already. So there is an image of me that circles around flying a drone, and it's being used in a variety of different articles. In this case, I may be responsible for the slaying of a Yemenese family. Ay, ay, ay. But I'm also associated apparently with Umbrella and GoPro. I'm also apparently behind the drone that knocks out a woman. You know, I'm really waiting. I'm really waiting for the day I'm at the airport and a little boy looks at me and goes, "Mommy, it's the bad drone guy." Here's a little bit one that's more appropriate. Drone attack survivors march to Washington. I'm not sure if I'm the attackee or the other person. So it's very confusing. This one actually I liked because the media made me look like a teenage boy. Yes! Okay, I have to admit, this is the only one that I actually photoshopped, because this is the only picture that I thought would really go well with the heading of "Drone Follow Woman from Bar Crashes into Her Car." It is photoshopped. This one is not real. The others are. So a little bit about me. I started flying very early on these quadcopter thingies, and in 2013, in February, I actually took the first drone of myself, and I thought, oh, this is so cool. Maybe I can do some cool art with it. And by including myself in the images, I was able to also create perspective. So here I'm standing on top of a big rock with my best friend Mark Johnson, and you can see the size of the wave. But that was not good enough. I started doing panoramas, several images, stitching them together, and you have something really artful. Now, I used to work at NASA, and I was doing education and public outreach there. This is actually an image of Las Vegas, taken from the International Space Station. So, while doing STEM outreach, science, technology, engineering, and math, there was one component that was missing. And right now at DJI, I am actually able to incorporate that missing component, which is A for arts. The art is an important element we cannot forget, because science is art and art is science. That leads me to DJI University. We created a platform to support education, and there are several layers. First of all, we want to educate the new pilots and possible customers of safe behavior and how to use the technology and know about local laws and regulations. We have over 400 events worldwide this year alone. But we also do changing the public perception, which is especially true here in the United States. The moment you say the word drone, my picture pops up with Yemenese families that are being slayed. So we need to change public perception. But that's not all. We can also educate industry on how to use the technology and incorporate it into their businesses. And furthermore, we need to work with our government. We need to also educate our local, our city, state, and federal governments on what the technology can and cannot do. And one thing that's really dear to me is the integration of hardware and software into the classrooms. Get the kids and students and teachers and researchers an opportunity to get the hardware into their hands, and then also use the software to create applications that we have not even thought of yet. That to me is inspiration. Now, My talk today is about something that happened just a few months ago, and it completely changed my life, and you will see why. With the ABC Good Morning America team, we went into the hidden world of Sondong. And what we were trying to do was trying to get a live broadcast out of the jungle inside the world's largest cave in central Vietnam. Not an easy adventure. So we had to do 2 trips. The first trip was a survey trip because we really needed to figure out, can we do that? Can we actually find a satellite for the live broadcast? And what will it look like to fly a drone inside a cave? So we flew to Hong Kong and from Hong Kong to Hanoi, and we had a day in Hanoi, and it ended up that my one Inspire that I had brought got lost. So I had, in essence, 20 hours to figure out a way to get an Inspire. Long story short, we found one. From there, we went on to central Vietnam, and we were greeted in Dong Hoi by the Oxalis Adventure team. From there, actually, this was the entire team at the time. 3 people from ABC, myself, a person from the government, from the Vietnamese government to chaperone us, and somebody local that helped us with the entire project. And Vietnam was exactly the way I had anticipated it to be. These beautiful rivers and lush, big mountains. It was just fantastic. And so using aerial platforms like the Inspire really allowed me to take beautiful images from perspectives I really didn't expect. So it was time to go into the jungle, and I decided, let's put my Inspire in a backpack, and I'm just going to carry it because then I can quickly deploy and fly. In the meantime, the lost Inspire had shown up, and so porters were carrying the Inspire in a Go Professional case into the jungle and through the jungle until we got to the cave. And I actually had a helper who wanted to really be involved and carry my Inspire, so I didn't have to carry anything. It was brilliant. Here is one of the ABC engineers, Josh, and he's looking for satellite. If we can get a satellite link, that was really one of the main objectives, because without a satellite reception and link to, there is no live broadcast to be done. Looking inside Hang An, which is the 3rd world's largest cave, it's an amazing feeling. And Hang An turned out to be the location where we would do the live broadcast from. There's another cave called Sondong, which is even larger, and we decided to do the taping inside Sondong. Now, being in a cave is not really that comfortable because the toilets are in essence buckets, and the toilet paper is there, but then you have to put some rice chips on top of it. All of that is not so bad, but you had peeping Toms in there. And this guy was the worst of all because I put my headlamp to the side and I hear this plop sound. So it's dived into the bucket. Needless to say, I did not do my business there. Now, this picture I want to show because Maria from ABC looks amazing with her socks over her pants, but that was necessary because we had leeches in the water. And I look like Superman there with my little devices because we were just about to climb into Sondong with all of our equipment. Now we're already inside the cave, crossing over the river. This was the last time we could take a bath for 5 days, and it felt really good. The cave is really so large that you sometimes need people to get some sort of perception. So here we put one of our helpers in front of us and another one way down on top of this structure called the Hand of Dog. Here I'm flying the DJI Inspire, and this behind me is an opening, a dough line. It's in essence a big hole in the ceiling that lets daylight in. Right below the dough line, about 600-700 meters below, is another jungle that grows on the floor of the cave. It's just tremendous. All right, so we decided during the survey trip that we can do a live broadcast. So we went back only 2 weeks after, And as you can see, the team has grown a little bit, and I also got the help from one of our top pilots, Ferdinand Wolf, from Germany. And so it was the two of us and many more ABC engineers. So here is a trailer from not only the footage we captured from the first flight, but also from a project we did with Eric Chang just a few months earlier, flying over an active volcano in Iceland. We have sound.
A spectacular new discovery so mammoth, you could probably fly a 747 inside. So we're flying in with drones, an epic live event inside a breathtaking hidden world buried beneath a jungle. This has never happened on live TV, and we're even swimming with 20 million jellyfish in the Pacific.
This is unbelievable.
Next week, see the world's new wonders live on Good Morning America.
So that was the promo that was running in the United States while we are going into the Sondong cave. And before we were going into that cave, I again used our DJI Inspire to capture some of the beautiful scenery of Vietnam. We had a lot of equipment, about 100 cases altogether, lights and cables and power generators, because it's really not an easy task to do a live broadcast. On the DJI side, I wanted to make sure that we always had enough equipment in case something would break down. So we had 4 DJI Inspire 1s and 3 DJI Phantom 3 professionals with us. This allowed us to have a spare machine per person. Now this time we did not have to trek through the jungle, which was awesome because we could load everything into this amazing Mi-17 Russian helicopter and then just fly about a mile outside of the cave. Now what was really cool was that while we were loading up the helicopter, almost the entire town came out because they had never seen such a big helicopter and they had never seen drones before. So the kids had a wonderful time looking through our devices and seeing what their little town looks like from above. And then it was time to fly into the cave area. You can see way in the background there, the entrance to one of the 2 caves, Hang En. This was our second helicopter flight, and of course this was all coordinated with the pilot, and we are keeping a safe distance. But these are really the shots that you are now getting. Now this was not a live broadcast, this was taped, but still it's beautiful footage. So now we're back inside Hang En cave, and this is what it looked like when we arrived, and this is what it looked like once we set everything up for the live broadcast. It's early in the morning in the United States when ABC Good Morning America runs. It's late at night in Vietnam, so we had to really lit up the entire cave. All right, now we are actually going into Sondong. And we were using the Phantom 3 to kind of document the descent down this very steep wall. And it was just really fascinating because this is what it looked like from the ground, and this is what it looks like from the drone's perspective. And you can see the entrance of Sondong up there and how people are climbing down that really big wall. Even though it's the world's largest caves, there are areas that are so tight that you have to really push yourself through, which also caused some issues with big cases, but with enough force, you get pretty much anything through these openings. Life inside this cave is amazing because it has 2 areas where there are these openings, and so daylight comes in, but the size of the cave is so big that it has its own weather system. And living in a cave provides you with a completely different experience. And one thing that was completely different is we had to charge batteries all the time off of power generators, and it was not always a lot of fun. Now here, we flew out of the cave through that big opening and another 500 feet up and looking down. So this is an amazing view. This is a view we cannot have any other way, and it's just breathtaking. So in the morning, a beam of light shines into that cavern, and it just provides you with an out-of-world experience. Here, in the middle of the screen, you see a tiny person on top of a stalagmite. That is ABC's host, Ginger Z, who came with us, and it just gives you an idea of the sheer size of this cavern. And now, flying inside this cavern was just amazing. You can see the DJI Inspire on the left side, while I'm going around orbiting the two of them, and it's just incredible. It looks out of an Avatar movie. It's just amazing. Now, oh, this is a good one. It was so humid inside the cave that after every flight, we had to clean up the machines. They were completely drenched in water. We had sand and dust. So the environment was really harsh, but the equipment really performed very well. We also never had a flat surface to take off and land from, and most of the time we had to fly with a helmet on, and we were drenched because it's so hot, except Ferdinand never sweats, and I, on the other hand, always had really nice outlines on my shirt. So this is the second dough line. And I flew very far up, and I took a vertical panorama of it. Now, if you look straight down, you can see this huge opening in the ceiling. And this ceiling is big enough to park two 747s inside. Or we have somebody from Airbus here, Ronnie, we would be able to park 1.5 A380s inside there. This is what it usually looked like, pitch black darkness. And we had to set up our flight machines and everything we needed for a flight just with the headlights on. And way in the background, you can see the light that comes in from the dough line. And then we created this shot. We put Ginger Z on top of this stalagmite, and then we flew around her. And this was really challenging because it's dark. There is no GPS, and there are a lot of winds inside. Now, from a technical perspective, this was challenging because our DJI equipment had to be connected to the ABC's equipment. And we used a third radio and connected that one through our HDMI out into ABC's equipment, and they could then use the camera feed. So during the live broadcast, we had 3 channels available. One channel was for the handheld camera, one channel was for the drone, and the third channel was for communications back to the studio in New York. Now it's showtime. We are just about to go live, and this huge cloud comes above the area, interrupting our live feed, meaning we lost one channel, and it was the communication channel. So we had no idea what New York wanted us to do and when we're live, so we were just ready on the edge of our seats. But once in a while, we got some little bits of communications back in, and it all worked out. So I'm going to show you a very short video, and that gives you an idea of the kind of footage we got and the beauty of all. And right after that, we're going to have a wonderful and very fascinating product announcement. We are in central Vietnam, just outside of the hidden world of Son Doong. Son Doong is the world's largest cave system, and what we're doing here is we're writing TV history. Together with an ABC Good Morning America team and their engineers, we will be live broadcasting out of the hidden world of Son Doong. We actually flew into the jungle by means of a helicopter because we had so much equipment. At times, we could see long lines of porters carrying equipment, food, power generators, cables through the thick brush, across rivers and down into the cave. We had to continue to cross rivers, trek through the jungle, rappel down walls, and make our ways through very narrow areas of the cave. All of this in very high humidity, with constant mist in the air and very dusty conditions. At times, it was pitch black dark inside the caves. We had to be careful. Every step had to be carefully planned, as there were cliffs and very sharp rocks. Then we trekked through the first cave, the Hang-En Cave, which became, in essence, our home base.
George, I am way down here. From the perspective you can see me, about 400 feet below the top of one of the world's largest caverns. It is inside a mountain, inside a jungle in central Vietnam. And this, I have to be honest with you, has been one of, or the, I would say, most difficult, dangerous, and grittiest assignments I have ever been a part of. We've been staying in these tents, we've been cooking over fires. This, again, is very remote. We are not close to any civilization. This is brand new to our world, this subterranean, surreal life that has been revealed, and now you get to be a part of it.
Inside the Son Dong Cave, there are two areas that have a big, huge hole in the ceiling, about 300 feet above. Those are called doe lines. And we've been using the DJI Inspire 1 as well as the Phantom 3 to see what kind of footage we could get flying inside those massive caves, and both have performed flawlessly.
The focus of the trip was to get aerial footage from inside the world's largest cave. However, flying in a cave introduces a lot of challenges, such as no GPS reception. The caves are big enough to create their own climate zones, including clouds and fog, so conditions changed constantly. We faced temperatures as high as 40 degrees Celsius and extreme humidity up to 95%. Because of the gigantic dimensions of the caves, our depth perception was very limited. Therefore, we had to rely solely on our line of sight and the live view from the camera.
The environment was pretty harsh, with the humidity, the water, sand and dust. But the equipment performed flawlessly. Teamwork and working with equipment that provides the capabilities that we needed to do this has been the key in making this a successful event. Thank you.